I'm back. Take 55. Okay, outdoors is not as easy as indoors. That's why I do a lot indoors. But I wanted to speak to you about some revelations I had. When we are born into this 3D experience, we come in erased, we come in recycled. So this unit here, this physical unit, there seems to be some sense from what everybody is discovering, and I've always known as a psychic medium, that we're recycled. And what happens is we're reused. So similar to a breeding program, or maybe something like a cloning program, it's very, think about it. If you were enslaving a race, what would you do? How would you keep them working? Keep your cattle happy, healthy, right? Because we're cattle. Sorry to say, but we are. What would you do to produce wealth? How would you get your slaves to uh, do something for you without chipping them, without brainwashing them? Well, I think they started that program a long time ago. It started with deprivation and food and uh, resource hogging, and it became you don't basically eat unless you work. But as the technology and as civilization grew, they needed different methods. So what now? What would you use? Now what could you use? So now you've got cars. Everybody's got independence, and they have their own credit cards, and they have airplanes. I live near the base, across the mountain. Anywho, that's just a small plane. So, with regards to just how do you control the population, that's the machine that's feeding, well, the dark side, right? We really don't know who's exactly. We know kind of who's in charge, but we just call them the Illuminati because we don't have really the Bilderberg, the Illuminati, but there's some other darker archons on top of that. So there's a layering of ownership here. But getting back to the principles of enslavement, if you can think from the top down, think about how you would do it and how, even in a game, I'm sure there's virtual games that have that, where you can own armies, then you can understand how you are run. And you say, oh, well, come on, I'm not a slave. I'm nobody's slave. I do what I want. Well, you don't do what you want. You're not free. You haven't been free since the day they stamped your foot and you have become a commodity on Wall Street. Okay, you're a number. Now, I'm not trying to disempower you. I'm trying to give you back your power. And your power is freeing yourself from your mind. The first thing they're going to control is the efforts that you put out in the world to gather resources for them, right? So they're going to want to make sure that you gather gold, oil. Think about that. Really think about that. Oil. That's a resource, right? So instead of you going to find the oil and drill, which some people do, a small group, they want you to buy the oil. So you are still in a slave program to buy the oil, buy our products, buy our food that we make, even though you have a backyard. And most of you probably could get away with, even in the winter, in the summers, supplying yourself with some supplementation of some kind of food. You know, we got you working so hard, you can't possibly have a garden. There have been people arrested for putting a pond in, okay? You think you're free? Did you see the guy that was going to get arrested and thrown in jail for fishing? He's fishing one fish and he's living on the land. He was eating a couple fish a month or whatever. Okay, we're not talking about commercial fishermen here. So you are not free. And as long as you're not free, you need to make yourself free. And so when you go to get your resources, think of it like this, like you're a pioneer and you've come to the land, and everything that you touch that has a barcode on it doesn't belong to you, and you're renting it, you're leasing it. You don't own your house, you don't own your cars, you don't own yourself. You don't even own your death. Okay? It's pretty bad. Okay, you have to pay to have somebody bury you. With all due respect, uh, it's a body, it has to be dealt with, but $3,000, $6,000. Sure, there's a cheaper way. There's just so many built-in sick programs that without getting too, I don't want to put on more negativity on you, but I want to release you from this sense of like disempowerment. Because how do you win? How do you get ahead? There's only a few things that we need to really do to get back our power and our freedom, and one of them is owning yourself. So just as say a lamb might jump over the fence and like, I'm making a run for it, guy, and they're like, oh, you're not gonna have any food or shelter, you know, I don't care. And the lamb makes a run for it, and it's on its own, and it finds another lamb that made a run for it, and they little lambs go together and they make other lambs, and they're in the forest somewhere or wherever, and they make their way, right? And yeah, they'll be a little skinnier and a little tougher, and they'll get very feral, but they'll eventually have a life that doesn't have them penned up, shots put into them. Do you get it? Do you get the similarities there? The lamb gets out, no more inoculations, vaccines. Do you get it? No more chipping, no more prodding with the electric prod to go this way or that way. No more eating garbage that's pretty much manufactured, GMO, plastics, whatever else is eating. No more of all of that interactive, hands-on interference with its free nature. And we won't even get into cloning because clearly we're cloned too. But that's a whole other subject, and I don't want to push my beliefs on anybody. That's not my thing. I want to just repair the damage, get you back to thinking about what power you have, and get away from looking to, if I have some more money, I'll have power. You'll buy some freedom, but you might buy some problems. Everything you do is monitored. So you don't even really, there's only so far you can get without getting some trouble coming your way. So just, you have to get past living on their terms, on the grid terms, and get into living on the spiritual terms. You have to rise above the program. And the only way you can do that is through certain skills that you have to develop. And so, how can you, for instance, get away from a big bill, a big university bill, or a medical bill, or some training, or something you did where you have to pay it back, and it's an enormous amount of money? You can erase it. There's ways, and I don't mean hacking. I don't suggest anything illegal, but there's spiritual ways that you can actually. I've done it. There's been bills where I called up and I said, "You sure? I don't know that." Nope, we don't see it on the computer. Computers are numbers. Computers are zero and ones. They're manipulative. You can manipulate them. This whole thing is manipulative. Do you get it? This isn't. I hate to say it's not real because it kind of deflowers my beautiful backyard. My beautiful backyard. It deflowers the sun and the moon and the stars. I'm just saying it's a beautiful environment, but it's a very manipulative environment. You can change it. You can alter it. You can bring things in and out of it. It is a virtual playground. Use it to your benefit. Um, Find somebody that yoga teachers, spiritual people. I'm not on YouTube to find clients. I'm not. I'm doing stuff I can't do with my clients. There are rules and regulations to working with people under the umbrella of a corporation. So I do what I do there. But I come here to do what I can't do. See, I'm breaking free. And so if you want to know, I want you to talk to other people. I want you to share, share everything. Share all the good stuff. Share all the love. Share all the fun. Share all your imaginations. And get back to being five again. If you can be five the rest of your life, you'll have the best life ever. Okay, signing off. Thanks for listening. Bye.